She burned my dress while I was still wearing it. That was the moment I realized that no one else in the house cared about me. My stepsister, Aduk, had always been mean, but this time was different. This time, she wanted to make sure I couldn't hide the scars. It started when my father remarried, my mother died when I was 9, and Baba thought it was best to bring someone in to fill the void. He didn't see that my stepmother and her daughter, Aduk, only cared about what they could get from him. I was just the extra child who didn't belong. Aduk was the golden one. She had everything: clothes, jewelry, shoes, even the nicest room in the house. My stepmother made sure of that. I didn't care much about those things, but the way they treated me was hard to bear. They called me names, made me eat scraps after everyone else was full, and gave me all the work in the house. I tried to stay quiet. Baba was the only one who ever showed me kindness, but he worked far away and only came home once in a while. I didn't want to trouble him, so I endured. But the day of the festival changed everything. I had spent weeks saving up small coins I earned secretly from fixing torn clothes for the neighbors. I used that money to buy some fabric, a cheap one, but it was mine. I spent nights sewing a simple dress for the festival, imagining what it would feel like to look like everyone else, even just for one evening. When Aduk saw me wearing the dress, her face turned sour. "You think you're better than me?" she hissed. I said nothing, just looked at her and walked to the corner of the room. She grabbed the hem of my dress and laughed. This is what you're proud of?" Before I could react, she snatched a burning stick from the cooking fire. I froze. She didn't even hesitate. She pressed it against the fabric. The heat seared my skin almost instantly. I screamed and tried to pull away, but she was stronger than she looked. The smell of burning fabric and flesh filled the air. My stepmother stood in the doorway and did nothing. I ran out of the house, tears streaming down my face. No one came after me. The neighbors heard me crying and came out to help. An old woman named Mama Folake took me in that night. She treated my burns and held me as I cried myself to sleep. The next morning, I decided I wouldn't go back. Baba wasn't due home for weeks, and I knew Aduk and her mother wouldn't face any consequences. I started working for Mama Folake, helping her with her small shop. She gave me a place to sleep and taught me how to stand up for myself. It's been years since that day. I don't know if Baba ever found out what happened, and I don't care to know. All I know is that I escaped, and I survived. Aduk might still think she won, but she didn't. I carry my scars proudly now because they remind me of what I overcame. No one will ever burn me again.